Well, good afternoon. Now we just shared an awesome meal together. Our potlucks are just amazing. I think they grow every week, every month. So is my waistline. So I did not follow the path, as you could see, of the seven churches of Asia in Revelation 2 and 3. I saved the best for last. And so this is the church we all want to strive to be like. And like I said before, I believe this congregation here is on the right path. I really do. I see so many who love the Lord, who are working hard. Servants, so many servants here, and the love we have here. And there's so many great, wonderful things. And it's just a blessing to be a part of. So we're going to look at, today, we're going to look at the church at Philadelphia. That'll be the last church in the Bible. It's the sixth church, and we're going to finish up with Philadelphia, and then we'll be done, and then we'll move on. So the church at Philadelphia is considered the faithful church. The name Philadelphia means love of a brother, or brotherly love. We know the city of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, that's what they call them, the city of brotherly love. And I don't know how true that is, some of the stuff I hear and see, but still, that the very name means that brotherly love. Philadelphia is located on the main Roman road, southeast of Sardis. It was between Sardis and Laodicea. Attalus established it as a missionary city, and his mission was to spread the Greek culture and the Greek language into Lydia and Persia. It was called the Gateway of the East. Philadelphia was best known for its vineyards because of the fertile land there. Wine was a big producer there. It had a number of marvelous temples and public buildings, and it became to be known as the Little Athens. Philadelphia was built on a fault line. In AD 17, it was destroyed by a terrible earthquake, and the same earthquake that destroyed Sardis and other cities in the area. And so the church at Philadelphia was a tried one also. It was tried and it was tested. Jesus starts out, and not with a sense of judgment to come, but he starts out with the words of comfort and praise for this faithful church. Look at verses 7 and 8 of Revelation 3. It says, "And to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write, He who is holy, who is true, who has the key of David, who opens and no one will shut, and who shuts and no one opens, says this, I know your deeds. Behold, I have put before you an open door, which no one can shut, because you have a little power and have kept my word and have not denied my name." You know, we looked at the last church of Laodicea, and it says, I know your deeds, and we know that what he meant there wasn't the good deeds. But here he goes to Philadelphia, the faithful church. I know your deeds. And those were good and faithful deeds that Jesus was talking about. Jesus mentions a few of his attributes to remind them that he is the one that they can trust. God is the one that they can trust in. They're already doing it, but he wants to encourage them to continue in their faith, being faithful. First of all, number one, he is the one who is holy. This affirms that his deity. In the Greek, it means he is the Holy One. That's what that means. He is the Holy One. And being holy, it tells us that God's not going to tolerate sin. He can't associate with sin, being holy. He tells his church there that those who live in sin are going to be punished. Right? God's not going to tolerate those who persecute his people. Number two, he says he is the one who is true, which literally means the true one. Like the other cities, Philadelphia was filled with paganism. It had its many gods, but notice verse 9. Verse 9 states, "Behold, I will cause those of the synagogue of Satan." We've heard that before, haven't we? in Smyrna, who say that they are Jews and are not, but lie. I will make them come and bow down at your feet and make them know that I have loved you. Yeah, they had to deal with false Jews who persecuted them, just like those in Smyrna had to deal with. Being holy and true, Jesus is going to punish sinners, and he's going to vindicate his people. And that's very comforting for us to know that he's always going to deal with those who try to persecute us. He's always going to deal with sin, and he's always going to take care of those who are striving to serve him and to please him. Jesus then tells them that he held the key of David. And this is a reference to Isaiah chapter 22. This is when King Hezekiah, he reigned, and Eliakim was given the key of David, and it was a symbol of authority. Only Eliakim could open the door for the subjects to approach the king. Isaiah chapter 22, down here in verse 22, it says, when he opens, no one will shut. When he shuts, no one will open. See, Jesus has all authority. He has all authority over everything. All authority on the earth. He has all authority in heaven. Over all the kings, over all the angels, over all the kingdoms. Jesus has all authority. Matthew chapter 28, verse 18. Jesus is the lineage of David. 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 14 through 16. Jesus reigns on his throne. Acts 2, 30 through 36. So what Jesus opens, nobody can shut. What Jesus shuts, nobody can open. See, Jesus holds the key. Jesus is always in the lives of those in the church. Satan and his army, at times that they're going to come at us, at times that they are going to win some battles. I know they have in my life. But we know what we read in the Bible, especially in Revelation, we know the victory has already been won. It says that in 1 Corinthians 15. Jesus is the victory over sin and death. We have the victory as long as we walk with Jesus, as long as we obey him. Now, when he says that they have little power, I do not know what he actually means by they have little power. Maybe they were a small congregation. Maybe they were scarce in leaders or members or even talent. I don't know what he means by that. But whatever their situation was, it did not hold them back. See, they were men and women of great faith. They were servants of God. They worked hard for the Lord. They kept his name. See, their faith and their perseverance gave them an open door. It gave them special opportunities and blessings. It gave them the ability to be servants. It gave them the ability to spiritually grow. It gave them the ability to share the gospel, to go out and to evangelize. See, that open door gave them eternal blessings. It gave them the ability to one day see the New Jerusalem, to one day see heaven. That's beautiful. Yes, the church at Philadelphia did not allow society to conform them. They did their best to influence those who were around them. Now, Jesus goes on to state in verse 10, look at verse 10, he says, because you have kept the word of my perseverance, I also keep you from the hour of testing. That hour which is about to come upon the whole world to test those who dwell on the earth. See, Jesus is promising them protection. Even in their heavy persecution, even when the Jews were persecuting, they persevered. Just like Jesus persevered under his persecution. The heavy trials that were coming were not about some tribulation that would come in the distant future and was going to last for a long time. See, it was coming soon upon the whole earth, it states here in our text. When we look in the book of Revelation, we see Revelation talks about the persecuting entity is Rome, afflicting God's people. We know what Nero did. Nero used Christians as light torches. He used them for his circus. Threw them into wild animals. Terrible stuff. The world here could mean that the Roman Empire, and that's what I believe it's talking about, but I can't say that for 100% sure. But that's what I believe, since Revelation is talking about Rome. But not only Christians were going to suffer, but others were going to suffer. Rome conquered at that time, and they did not just bring vengeance on Christians, did they? Anybody who wasn't going to give themselves to Rome, anybody they wanted to take out, they were going to take out. God allows affliction. God allows persecution. He allows trouble to come upon His people. And the main idea is to get them to repent. See, the impenitent failed the test. Those who refused to repent, they failed. But we know that the church of Philadelphia, they passed the test. Because the Bible tells us they were faithful. Jesus ends with an assurance of protection and great promises in verses 11 and 12. He says, I am coming quickly. Hold fast what you have so that no one will take your crown. He who overcomes, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my God, and he will not go out from it anymore. And I will write on him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the new Jerusalem, which comes down out of heaven from God, and my new name. What a comforting promise that He gives to His people. Jesus assures them that He is coming, and Rome and the fake Jews and the persecutors of the brethren are going to be taken care of. God's going to deal with them, and it's not going to be a good thing for them. See, they may persecute and kill God's people, but they cannot take their victor's crown. Remember what Jesus told them in Smyrna in Revelation 2:10. Be thou faithful unto death, and He says, I will give you the crown of life. Philadelphia was a pillar and a support of the truth. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 15. They remained faithful and nobody could touch them spiritually. They had the victory. Paul talks about this crown in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8, and we will be done. He says, in the future there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award me on that day. And not only me, but also to all who have loved His appearing. Like Philadelphia, I believe God has blessed us. That's not boasting at all, because we don't boast on ourselves. We boast in the Lord. That's what we do, like Paul states in Romans. All our boasting would be because of God. All our glory goes to God. We strive to please Him and be faithful to Him. We have overcome adversity, sorrow. A lot of members here have dealt with things that I can't even imagine. This congregation has dealt with disunity and have stayed together with these fine leaders, these fine elders, this fine, wonderful congregation. Our minds and our hearts are set on the prize of the upward call of God, and we must take advantage. We must take advantage of the blessings that we have, the blessings that God blesses with every day. We can't squander them. We can't take them for advantage. We need to strive always to please Him, because we know that could all come crashing down. We have no problem being hard workers. We have no problem with love. But like I said before, like I said earlier today, and I'm going to say it again, Satan's coming. He's coming. Just remember that. Stay alert. Stay on guard. Keep yourselves pure. Keep together. We want to be with each other as much as we can, the fellowship. When we have things that are planned, we can't make everything, but try to be there. Try to get involved with the work here. Satan can't touch us. He can't touch us when we're together, when we're in the Word, when we're trusting in God. Let's be like Philadelphia. Let's persevere. Let's remain faithful. The lesson is yours tonight. If you need to answer the invitation call and come up here, we can pray for you. If you want to be baptized into Christ and be saved tonight, come now as we stand and we sing the invitation song. Softly and